Well, hello, peeps. Here is me coming like a hood ninja again at you, and a little bit more naked maybe than the last time, and we have some insane PvP changes coming for 11.1. Now, there's a lot of changes, guys, and we're gonna discuss specifically PvP changes for all the classes, and then we're gonna move into the Demon Hunter changes and Enhancement Shaman changes and some Warrior changes that are coming just kind of as a baseline, right, as a general thing that's not just PvP related. This is obviously because I play those classes and I care about those classes a lot, so I feel like my opinion actually matters, or I actually like interested in those classes and talking about those classes. But without further ado, let's just move into the PvP stuff that is being changed, and there's just, I must say, a lot of things that are really cool. There's some stuff regarding like PvE and PvP gearing really not relevant to me. Death Knight, veteran of the Third War, now increases stamina by 6% in PvP combat, was 10%. So Death Knights are just getting straight up nerfed passively. Their defenses are just getting passively nerfed. Not sure for the cause of this. I didn't feel like Death Knights were just unkillable or something like that. They're also kind of a dampening class, right? Like as dampening kind of increases, right, they become worse. So I feel like in arenas, this is definitely going to be felt. In BGs, you're probably not going to feel this that much because you're not getting weaker throughout the BG, right? Blood Walking Dead PvP talent has been removed. Pillar of Frost now grants Remorseless Winter and increases this damage by 1000%, and its radius is increased by 150%. But your movement speed is heavily reduced for its duration. And Pillar of Frost cooldown increased by 15 seconds. So we shall see. This might be insane, just how much damage this might actually do. So we'll see how this is actually going to work. But it feels like it has too many penalties, to me at least personally. You're getting a 15-second cooldown and your speed is heavily reduced. But we shall see. Dead of Winter PvP talent has been removed. Ouch. Ouch. I must say, I kind of understand what they're going for here. They kind of don't want Frost to be that class that's just CC for other classes. So I kind of see what they're going for, but Dead of Winter has been very important to the Frost playstyle for, I think, a long time, and I'm not sure if, yeah, this is a good change. We will have to see. We'll wait and see, really. Necrotic Wounds no longer has a healing component. Honestly, I'm not sure if this is like gonna matter that much. Definitely something that also reduces your passive survivability component on the Unholy Death Knight, so definitely something that's gonna have an effect, but we shall see how much. As long as this is still absorbing healing, right, this is, I think, still a very strong ability, right, for the Unholy Death Knight. Now, moving into Havoc, our favorite class here. Now, first, when I saw these guys, I was so excited, and I was like, what? But we have to kind of read through it. So new PvP talent, Illidan's Grasp. You strangle the target with demonic magic, stunning them in place and dealing shadow damage over 5 seconds while the target is grasped. Can move while channeling, and you can use then Illidan's Grasp again to toss the target to a location within 20 yards. So it's a big nerf to the ability. It actually had like a 40-yard range. You could really toss people far, far away. It also replaces Feral Eruption, so this is not something that you just get as a bonus on Havoc, right? Vengeance, it just has it nerfed, like the throw range is reduced by 20 yards and no longer stuns and damages on throw impact. This has to be a component of the Havoc one. Otherwise, this is just not useless. Like, you're never gonna use this, probably. It's a fun thing, but there's no point in adding a fun thing that's gonna be useless and you're just gonna use it for fun, I feel like. This is definitely one of the biggest things of Vengeance, and in a sense, they are kind of, I would say, destroying Vengeance in PvP. Like, Vengeance does not have its niche thing that it can do. Vengeance has been a menace a few times in PvP, and it's mainly been, I would say, a menace because of Illidan's Grasp. So definitely something that just kind of removes Vengeance, but I'm not sure how much this helps us on Havoc, really. Like, we have to see the full scope of the ability. Does this still stun when it drops the person if you're Havoc? If it doesn't, this is useless. Like, you're not gonna ever stop, not do damage for 5 seconds as you control the target, and then toss them 20 yards, right? Not toss them 40 yards away to, what? Try and CC them, like, from 20... I don't know. I'm not sure, like, where they're going for. If this does not actually stun on throw impact. So we shall wait and see. At first I was like, oh my god, lol, this is amazing. And then I read it's 20 yards. And I read also the second part where if this is a part of the Havoc side as well, you're not using this. Like, we're not gonna use this. Moving into Druids, Thorn's PvP talent has been redesigned. It's now a passive that activates when you cast Barskin or Ironbark. I think this, in a sense, is a stronger if the druid is being targeted. But it also then does not allow you to put thorns on your teammates. So in a sense, it makes it worse, right? That you can't use it on your teammates, but it's also, I think, stronger specifically and also on the rest of druids, right? You can just have more of it, right? You can actually use Ironbark on your teammates as well, right? So yeah, in a sense, I think it's kind of both a nerf and a buff. Now for Pharaoh, King of the Jungle has been removed, unfortunately. This talent has been kind of strong. So, I mean, I kind of get it. I didn't want Pharaoh to kind of just have increased movement speed, increased healing for free. I kind of want to have it something that they can actually control it with. It's also kind of strong, right, to just have a PvP talent like that and kind of makes it a default choice, right, if you know what I mean. This actually scared me. Restoration, new PvP talent, Ancient of the Lore. Shapeshift into an Ancient of the Lore for 12 seconds, preventing all crowd control effects on you and reducing damage taken by 20% and granting you access to Blossom Burst and Mass Blooming. I am not sure why Resto Druid gets to be immune to damage, to CC. Like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. Like, maybe this is like a nerf in the healing department, because it does take away your tree cooldown, right, your incarnation. But immune to CC for 12 seconds while having reduced damage, having additionally healing, this just sounds absolutely broken to me, and I'm not sure why Restoration Druid of all the healers is getting this. Specifically when I feel like Resto Druid just gets to kind of run away from most of the CC. You know, you can't poly it, you can't root it, you can't slow it. Like, why is Druid more immune to CC than it already is immune by just being able to shapeshift? Like, so kind of strong in my opinion. A new PvP talent, Forest Guardian, Rat, Starfire, Cyclone, and combo point generator abilities extend the duration of your active healing over time effects by 1 second on up to 3 allies. Start Surge and combo point spending abilities increase the rate of your healing over time spells by 25% for 4 seconds. So a PvP talent to make the healers, of course, play in an aggressive manner. I think this is good overall to try and make healers more attractive to play, but I also feel like they're not gonna balance this, I feel like, properly. I feel like we're getting into a point where healers is gonna be the better class than the DPS, right? You're not gonna do as much maybe damage, but you are gonna keep everybody alive as a god, and you're still doing decent damage. I feel like that is not the way I would go for making healers better in this game. I would go for more powerful abilities, like as I was saying in one of my videos where I was giving some ideas how to make a healer stronger. Like, let's say Resto Shaman can just hold you for like 6 seconds with its lightning lasso, and that lightning lasso does like a bazooka amount of damage. Like, that to me feels better, to make healers have these like very powerful abilities, like very strong supportive or such things, but just making them do damage while also being gods, right? Like freaking healing gods, I feel like is not the way. Mastery Harmon's effectiveness is no longer reduced by 20% in PvP combat. I don't understand why there's so many buffs to Resto Druid. Yeah, I don't know. Life Bloom's healing increased by 50% in PvP combat. Okay, man. The following PvP talents have been removed. Okay, so I kind of understand it now when I see these things more. Like, they're removing some PvP talents, so they're kind of trying to push back some of that healing right into the class itself. But before I let you get on with the video, I do have to inform you that only 4.3% of you subscribed. So if you have been enjoying the content, please consider smashing that subscribe button. Now lately, YouTube is restricting most of my videos for some reason, maybe because of my potty mouth, but regardless, if you want to keep up with the current Mikadika content, do consider smashing that notification bell. Moving into Evokers, and honestly, this is like a change that should have just happened right away. Evoker does not have a lot of CC anyways, so Sleepwalk no longer has a cooldown, and you don't have to take like a PvP talent, right? It has been completely removed. I don't know why this wasn't like this from the start, dude, especially when you have freaking mages spamming poly, when you have freaking Warlock spamming fear. Like, I don't understand why it was unfair for Evokers, who I don't really feel like they don't really have that much CC. Where Evokers are OP when it comes to mobility, right? Them not being able to... You can't slow them, stun, those things are really where Evokers are a problem, I would say, in PvP. Augmentation, new PvP talent, Seismic Slam. Landslide causes enemies who are mid-air to be slammed to the ground, stunning them for 4 seconds, and also landslide cooldown is reduced by 50 seconds. We'll see if you are gonna be able to really do that combo. Hunter, let's move into the Hunters here. New PvP talent, Explosive Powder. Bursting Shot now also knocks you back and snares the enemies by an additional 20%. Might be insane, dude. I mean, it's gonna be a really nasty slow, right? A really nasty snare, but you're also making double the distance away from your opponent, right? You're not just bursting shotting them away, you're also being knocked back. So This might be nuts, but we'll have to kind of wait and see. Beast Mastery, Dire Beast, the Basilisk has been redesigned. It now triggers automatically onto your target when you cast Call of the Wild. Interesting. I really like these kinds of changes where they're kind of, you know, combining things, especially when you have things like, you just felt like a bad global to press, and also Dire Beast, just Basilisk has not been strong since, I don't know, Shadowlands or something, like BFA, last season of BFA or something. Like, I don't remember people playing Basilisk for a long time. I don't remember seeing a single Basilisk. I swear to God, like, in entirety of Dragonflight. Now, I must say, Marksmanship changes are really interesting. We'll see how they're gonna pan out. New PvP talent, Sniper's Advantage, True Shot, and Volley increase the range of all your shots for 30% for their duration. So, you don't have Sniper Shot, I'm just gonna talk about it right away. You have a few things that are removed: Interlope, Sniper Shot, True Shot Mastery, and Wild Kingdom. So, you are increasing your range now instead of, right, with Sniper Shot, with just activating True Shot and Volley. That feels kind of nuts with just how much range freaking Marksmanship already has. New PvP talent, Aspect of the Fox. Aim Shot may be cast while moving during Aspect of the Cheetah, and Aspect of the Cheetah delayed effect is increased by 4 seconds. I'm not sure, man. I feel like Aspect of the Cheetah just has too much of a cooldown to actually make this worth it, really. Ranged Finesse no longer increases the effectiveness of Bursting Shot. Damn. And yeah, the following PvP talents have been removed. So we'll see how this is gonna pan out. Sniper's Advantage definitely seems very, very good, especially since you don't have True Shot Mastery right anymore. You don't have Sniper Shot anymore. So definitely gonna be running this talent, but it's gonna make you just, you know, be able to fire your damage from freaking Narnia away. So this seems nice, but the rest feels... We'll see how it's gonna pan out. Now for mages, my most beloved class is a melee player, as a warrior, demon hunter player, as an enhanced player, like my most favorite class. New PvP talent, Overpowered Barrier. All barriers absorb 100% more damage and have an additional effect, but they last 5 seconds. Interesting, I actually like this PvP talent, just the way it kind of functions, right? If the barrier is fully absorbed for Ice Barrier, enemies within 10 yards suffer massive frost damage and are slowed by 70% for 4 seconds. We'll see what massive frost damage actually means. Blazing Barrier reflects 100% of the damage absorbed, so that could actually be a meaningful amount of damage reflected, since this makes also the barriers 100% more stronger. And this is kind of scary. Prismatic Barrier, if the barrier is fully absorbed, gain time warp for 4 seconds, dude. That one kind of seems nuts, I'm not gonna lie. Definitely these are nerfed in the sense that a mage can't just use this and have on themselves like the barriers, right? They have to actually use the barriers as a defensive component of their kit, right? They have to kind of press it. Ring of Fire PvP talent has been redesigned. It now disorients enemies who enter the ring for 3 seconds and burns for 3% of their maximum health over its duration. Was 18%. So this is a huge nerf. Huge nerf, in my opinion. Cooldown is increased to 45 seconds, was 30 seconds, and it also overrides Ring of Frost. So, in a sense, I kind of get it. Mages were just using straight up Ring of Fire as just a damage bonus in PvP. Like, it was not even like thinking about how they're casting it, right? They're just using it as a part of their rotation. So this actually makes Ring of Fire kind of a spell they have to think about. Also kind of prunes it, right? Combines it with the Ring of Frost. We'll see. I mean, I feel like this damage component should be increased a little bit more, just to make it kind of, since it's now eating up also Ring of Frost, I feel like there's no really need to nerf the damage component that badly. You're also nerfing the cooldown. Very rarely you're gonna see me defend mages, but I feel like this is... They went too much into like nerfing this ability. I feel like they should have kept its damage at maybe like 10%, right, of maximum HP, and then also have the cooldown, you know, maybe stays relatively similar, but, you know. Ring of Fire now has a more pronounced visual effect. That's very nice. It's very rarely... sometimes you really don't see this happening. Now, this is the big one, and this is one of the things that is very fair what they did, even though it's a huge nerf to the mages, and... yeah, I mean, I'm very happy when the mage gets nerfed, but you should understand still that I'm not like, how do you say, I try to be objective with these things, so I'm not like hitting the class, but I feel like this is actually very fair. Alter time is now affected by healing reduction effects such as dampening. This is something that I talked about before, but dampening is just an unfair concept. And honestly, I'd rather do away with dampening than have to like, yeah, like nerf things like this, like on alter time, because this being affected by healing reduction effects, I feel like is going to be huge. Like, this is just going to make alter time a lot weaker, bro. Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like they should give it an additional, I don't know, PvP talent or something like that can like make it heal better. Or I'm not sure. Like it just feels this is too much. Dampening is something that this should have definitely been affected by, but healing reduction effects, I'm a little bit unsure if those should really affect alter time, because this feels like just a huge ass nerf. Like, to be honest with you, like this just guts alter time in PvP in a certain way. Arcane, Temporal Shield, PvP talent has been removed, and Fire, new PvP talent, Ignition Burst, Heat Shimmer now addition causes your next Scorch to become insta-cast and cast at 100% more effective. I'd say the biggest thing really here is the alter time. Like that's definitely gonna affect the mages directly. Now moving into the monks, peeps, and Absolute Serenity PvP talent has been updated. Now just prevents all crowd control effects. This is specifically for Conduit of Celestial monks, right? When they're channeling their main ability, and it's just gonna make them completely immune to CC. Felt like this was just a very weird kind of control on this ability, especially since, yeah, if you get stunned on a like channel ability like that, it's just gonna Jower, right? And it's a big cooldown, so I think really it was important to have this from the get-go. Brewmaster Alpha Target has been removed. Okay. Mistweaver, new PvP talent, Feather Feet. You may not cast while moving during lighter than air and not last 4 seconds. And Alpha Tiger has been removed. So Alpha Tiger is now only on Windwalker. And Windwalker Reverse Harm PvP talent has been removed. Okay. This just seems like a straight up like nerf. Okay, Windwalker, you just heal less. I don't feel like Windwalkers are that insanely when it comes to self-healing, but I guess it's kind of in line with the other ideas they're doing. And I'm kind of against that. I feel like self-healing should be increased, honestly, if they're gonna make healers do damage. Like, if healers are doing damage, healers should heal less. If you're just gonna get into that situation, as I've stated before, where healers are just gods, and yeah, that's not the game that I want to play. Now we're gonna move into the Paladins and the new PvP talent, Shining Revelation. This just sounds very cool. The light reveals all enemies in stealth or invisible to you while under the effects of Divine Shield. I just like this as a cool effect, but I'm not sure you're gonna be wasting a PvP talent slot for this. I really don't think so. The effect lingers for 20 seconds after Divine Shield fades. I only really see this being really used like in arenas versus like rogues, perhaps, like to kind of counter the vanish, right? But I'm not sure why they went for Divine Shield. Yeah, that's like the one thing that kind of confuses me. I'm not sure why they really went for Divine Shield. They could have went for a different ability that also has like a larger cooldown. But in any case, it's kind of fun to have another class that can actually reveal stealthed classes. And I feel like stealth in generally, the way stealth works in PvP in World of Warcraft is just OP. It's just an absolute invisibility, and no PvP game ever keeps stealth in such a state. Like a lot of people, a lot of PvP games tried to keep stealth in such a state, and they've realized that nope, stealth is OP when you're just completely invisible. So very nice in that sense that we have more things to reveal, stealth, but on a very odd choice of an ability. Luminescence PvP talent has been redesigned. Light Bear's healing transfer is increased by 200% based on your current HP. Lower health heals allies for more. Now available for Holy Paladins, and as we're going to discuss some more stuff here, seems like Holy Paladins are the ones that are actually getting like improved here. I don't feel like other Paladins are really getting improved by these PvP talent changes. But Holy Paladin also gets Blessing of Spell Warden. Okay. And yeah, the following PvP talents have been removed. It doesn't have Blast Hands or Judgments of the Pure anymore. Aura Reckoning has been removed from Protection, and Aura Reckoning has been removed from Retribution, and Lawbringer has been removed from Retribution. Lawbringer is kind of nice to remove. It's been just kind of useless. They've nerfed it into a point where it's useless, so it being removed is nice. Aura Reckoning, I don't see anything to replace it really here. We're going to discuss the kind of overall changes a little bit later, so maybe like in the overall changes on the Retribution department, they're doing something more. We're going to check Retribution as well, but yeah, I'm not really sure what they're going to replace Hour of Reckoning with. It doesn't feel like you have any kind of damaging talents really to use now on Red. Moving into Discipline, and Archangel has been redesigned. It's now just a passive ability that upgrades Evangelism, causing it to heal 30% more and increase your healing and absorption by 20% for 15 seconds. And Dark Archangel has also been redesigned. It now triggers automatically when you cast Shadow Fiend or Mindbreaker and increases damage down by 10%, plus 15. So very nice little pruning, just making abilities into, baking abilities into abilities, right? And yeah, I kind of generally really like this kind of playstyle. or kind of these playstyles. That's kind of feel unfair though, because with one of the specs, right, one of the hero talents, I think you're gonna have a lot more uptime on Dark Angel, because you're just gonna have more Shadow Fiends. And Shadow Word pain damage no longer increased by 15% in PvP. Now for Holy, Seraphic Crescendo has been moved from the PvP talents to the Holy Tree, but the real thing that I want to discuss here, man, Rogues, new PvP talent, Preemptive Maneuver. Feint decreases your damage taken by an additional 40% while stunned, and its energy cost is reduced by 30%. Now, in a vacuum, if you just looked at this in a vacuum, you'd be like, okay, whatever, right? They're losing Veil of Midnight. You know, it's kind of fair, right, in a sense. But no, dudes. Rogues have had Feint removed from the global cooldown. So they just can press this whenever they think they're in trouble, and they have 2 Feints. And also, they're not going to have like an energy cost on it. That just feels a little bit nutty to me. Definitely going to make cheat that less of an option, right? You're going to go for the Feint talents. But that does not... Yeah, I don't feel like Rogue really needed this. This feels kind of insane to me. To be realistic, right? Like, the only time that you can even catch a Rogue or touch a Rogue is really when they're CC'd or stunned. So, making them not being able to be killed while stunned, I'm not sure if this is like... the play, man. I really feel like this overcompensates for Veil of Midnight PvP talent being removed, in my opinion. Like, this basically overcompensates for this. For Outlaw, they've removed Enduring Brawler and Take Your Cut. Again, guys, Outlaw, I don't think really damages the huge like issue that makes people bother with Outlaw. So I think, in a sense, this is good, but the damage is not really the problem. The problem is this class is unkillable, right? And I feel like with this, is now even more unkillable. Like, you're never killing an Outlaw. Like, you could actually stun it and like do some damage to it, but now you can't stun it and do damage to it. And it's gonna have energy to cast Feint for sure, right? You're not gonna be starving yourself for energy to cast Feint. Your Feint, I'm not sure if Feint still has a reduced cooldown when you're doing when you're spending combo points on Outlaw. So yeah, if that's still in the game, I can kind of remember. This is just broken. This is just absolutely broken. Makes Outlaw even tankier than it was before, right? Like, Veil of Midnight being removed does not compensate for this being added, in my opinion. Like, people are just switching these 2 talents, right, for each other. I'm not gonna run Cheat Death anymore. You don't even need to run Cheat Death anymore, because Cheat Death really was protecting you while you're being stunned and just absolutely nuked, right? So there's no chance in hell that this is just not broken. It does not need an instantaneous nerf to at least 30%, like, immediately. And why energy cost reduced? Like, why is not the energy cost increased? Like, why is this also giving you a quality of life thing when it's giving you such a powerful effect? Actually, guys, I do know. It's the PvP developer is a rogue, right? And this is a plan that he has had set in motion since the beginning of the War Within, right? Like, that one patch where they did Feint, make Feint off the global cooldown now makes sense, right? Like, nobody was using Feint, but now everybody's gonna be using Feint. Subtlety, Shadowy Duel, PvP talent removed. Honestly, this is very good for the game. This is such a cheesy and just, yeah, it just feels like a cheesy move. Like, it never felt good to lose to a Shadowy Duel. Never felt fair for me to just get stunned in a Shadowy Duel and just die. So I really don't care. Good riddance to this talent. It's just broken. Shaman, Electric PvP talent, damage increased by 100%. Okay, it doesn't do any damage anyways, so maybe 300%, maybe, right? Now, I'm gonna get very angry. And if you're an enhancement enjoyer, you're also gonna get very angry. New PvP talent for Elemental only. Storm Conduit. Casting Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning reduces the cooldown of Astral Shift, Gust of Wind, Wind Shear, and Nature Totems by 1 second. Guys, again, Elemental is just gonna be tankier than Enhance. For whatever reason. Like, for whatever logistical reason they just want Elemental to be tankier. Right. And this is gonna make Elemental have a reduced cooldown on Astral Shift, its mobility, right? So it's gonna be more mobile than Enhancement, and it's also gonna have more kicks than Enhancement, and it's also gonna have its Nature Totems like come back up sooner, right? No chance in hell this is not, again, making an Elemental just tankier, like, and better than Enhance. Like, there's some stuff we're gonna discuss when it comes to Enhance. There's some amazing changes, right, in the general section, but there's nothing that compensates for the fact that Enhancement now, again, is less tanky and gonna be less useful overall, right? Less mobile than Elemental, because, yeah, Elemental is probably gonna pick up this talent and just be... yeah, just gonna be spamming some lightning bolts. In any case, I don't want to bog down the video right now with that kind of topic. They should just try to make in their brains that Enhancement as the melee option needs to be tankier and it needs to be more mobile than the range option. Just somehow Blizzard needs to get that through their freaking heads because it's not clicking still. Restoration, new PvP talent, Storm Conduit, casting Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning reduces the cooldown of Wrestling Shifts. Yeah. Wind Shear and Nature Totems by 3 seconds, dude. They just said, yeah, enhancement, you don't get this, they get this. And they could have tuned it for enhanced. Like, I absolutely understand why they're thinking like this could be broken enhanced with Ascendance and how Ascendance and that kind of tree works, but you just make it have like an internal cooldown of like 3 seconds or 2 seconds, right? And then you can still have this kind of effect on enhance, right? Where it's not going to be broken during Ascendance windows. I don't know. Like, I feel like they could have tuned this talent and made it actually work for enhance as well. And they just chose not to. They just said, yeah, enhance, less kick duration. This also is insane. The 3 seconds on Wind Shear for Resto. Resto casts off two freaking lightning bolts, dude. And 6 seconds of its Wind Shear cooldown. That seems a little bit nuts to me. A little bit nuts. Totem of Rat PvP talent now triggers off Nature's Fitness. Very nice. It just makes it baked into Nature's Fitness. And now we come to one thing that I think is just patently broken, and that's going to be the new PvP talent Bloodstones for Warlock. Your health stones are replaced with Bloodstones, which increase your user's haste by 20% for 12 seconds instead of healing. I think this is just patently broken. Like, in arenas, maybe a Warlock cannot really like get away with using this because like health stones are a part of their survivability. So in that situation, I can kind of see this not being used, but for BGs, you just having a Warlock means you have an additional freaking Bloodlust that you can use, and you have 3 of them. I'm thinking you probably have 3 of those charges. A Rogue, right, or classes that re-stealth can just reset this, you know, much sooner and just get another 20% haste like 1 minute. There's no world in which this is not patently broken. Like, I just feel like this is a patently broken PvP talent as far as everything that we've covered. So now this is like the only thing that I think should not just be added to the game, because there's no way in hell that in a solo RPG environment this is not gonna make a huge difference if one team has a Warlock and the other doesn't. Like, it's literally having one more Bloodlust for your team. Like, insane. 20% or PI, right, for your team. Like, this is just insane. Call of the Preserver PvP talent has been removed. Okay, those were just they're just annoying to deal with, and honestly, good riddance. I don't care. Destruction, Bonds of Hell, PvP talent damage increased by 40%. I mean, I haven't seen this ability in a long time, so I don't know if 40% is really enough to make it good. Generally speaking, Bonds of Hell is a good ability, and has been a good ability a few times in history. So yeah, 40% it could make it so like melees have to stick there and stand there and take the damage again, right? Where you can't break this, because if you break this, it's like half your HP. Now for the last, Warriors, and definitely not the least, one of our favorites here for sure. We have a new PvP talent, Berserker's Roar. Go Berserk, removing and granting immunity to Fear Sap and Cascade effects for 6 seconds. Also reduces the duration of the next crowd control effect within 15 seconds by 50% on group members within 40 yards. Now, I'm not sure if this is like a per group member thing, or it's one thing that just gets consumed once a group member is stunned, but definitely seems cool. It's like a war banner that you can now have on other, right, warriors as well. So it's not just it's not like Arms is only one that has war banner now, but it does make it so you're right. You have to use a Berserker's Roar, or you can't really. It's not really like a free thing that you get added onto your class. Definitely gonna be interesting, specifically if it works like for 15 seconds. But I just the way I'm reading it, lasting for such a long time and just being like an effect on your teammates, right? It's gonna be something that just gets consumed after one CC gets used up on one of your teammates. We'll see. This definitely gives Fury kind of a utility option, and like gives kind of protection also, right? Utility option where they can reduce CC. Dragon Charge PvP talent has been redesigned. You can now move slightly left and right during its effect. Okay, interesting. Cooldown increased to 45 seconds, was 20 seconds, and now available to all warriors specializations, and it overrides Heroic Leap. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be using this. Like, sounds fun, but I don't remember Dragon Charge. I haven't used it in a long time, so I don't remember its like range specifically. But yeah, unless this has like similar range to Heroic Leap, you're not going to be using this for sure. It also does not help it that now you cannot use it anymore while rooted. You can cancel it early, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm not sure we're using this. Rebound PvP talent has been, now been a little bit redesigned. Now increases the damage of the reflected spells by 100%. Was 50%. Guys, as far as I'm considered, they just need to make a new talent for Spell Reflect. Like, Spell Reflect is poop water these days because there's so many passive effects. There is just so many things that can proc it. Like, there's so many situations in which, you know, I have a spell flying to my face, I raise my shield, I Spell Reflect, and then literally random something, me hitting into thorns, like, blocks it and I'm just hitting the face still. Like, so, like, Spell Reflect just needs to be redesigned. If I was gonna redesign it, make Spell Reflect last 2 seconds, maybe even 3 seconds, and just reflect all, you know, all abilities. Like, there's no reason that Spell Reflect is throttled like this, and it's like, you know, reflecting one ability. Like, literally, it ends up being that Spell Reflect's main effect is like the damage reduction. It gives you the magic damage reduction. So, yeah, I don't know. I would definitely be looking at reworking Spell Reflect because currently, just the way the game has kind of evolved, there's too many things that can just proc it accidentally, and there's, you know, you can use it skillfully, you can use it with intention, but you can still have it fail because of something random happening. So that's why I think it just needs help. Rallying Cry is now 100% more effective in PvP combat. Okay, and Warbringer PvP talent has been removed. Who cares, bro? We stopped using that. I mean, we stopped using that because they nerfed it into Oblivion and it stopped doing damage, right? Arms Warrior Sharpened Blade PvP talent has been redesigned. Now empowers your next mortal strike after you Colossus Smash or Warbreaker. Okay, this is very nice, removing a little bit of the button bloat. We definitely were not using Sharpened Blade without Colossus Smashing prior to that and Warbreaker. Like, maybe in certain situations, you know, if you could cleave it and you're like doing really good damage, but yeah, this is, I think, just makes it kind of easier to use and better to use, and definitely something that's more meant for newer players, I would say, like an older player like me who has gotten used to clicking Sharpened Blade, right? Myself, right, does not like care for this. Storm of Destruction PvP talent now additionally functions with Demolish. Okay. Wait, okay, so it's gonna give that slow... Okay. So Demolish, you know, Colossus gonna got a little bit of a buff, so it's gonna slow and it's gonna apply that anti-heal, right? Reduction of healing. Master Commander no longer increases the effectiveness of Rallying Cry by 10%. This is obviously, right, to kind of counteract the fact that it's gotten just a 100% increase in PvP combat. So, yeah, Rallying Cry is just a really, really strong defensive ability now. Now, I actually didn't notice this is the first time around, but War Banner is actually removed. Shadow of Colossus is removed, but this is like poop water talent you never used, right? But War Banner, damn, son, that I must say is kind of a nerf. That's kind of a nerf like this. I don't think this really, like, because this is going to be one ability, right? 1 CC probably. That it's gonna just absorb, because there's no way this just lasts 15 seconds. In my mind, I feel like 15 seconds, 50% the just CC reduction on your entire team for on a cooldown that's not like even that long. Yeah, that seems a little bit nuts, right? But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Definitely, Shadow of Colossus should have been removed. This should have been removed the last expansion, man. Fury Deathwish now causes you to grow in size with each stack. Okay. That is interesting. That's very fun. That's gonna be very fun. I mean, Deathwish is kind of just a fun talent. You use it kind of for solo RPGs, right, and for fun. But yeah, that makes it even more fun. That's very nice. The following PvP talents have been removed: Barbarian and Battle Trance. Damn. Okay, Battle Trance. That's definitely gonna impact the survivability a little bit. I feel like I feel like that's definitely gonna impact the survivability a little bit. But Barbarian was like, I would say pretty, like, it was niche. You didn't use it like in many situations, but it was like a defining Fury thing. Like, it definitely was one of those things that separated Fury from the other warrior specs in a sense. So I'm not down for that. I really am not happy with Barbarian being gone. Battle Trance, it's like, okay, if they buff healing from Bloodthirst, right, it's just gonna be fine. Now, peeps, as my general opinion about these before we get into some Demon Hunter, Enhancement Shaman, and Warrior specifics, is that these are very good, very nice. A lot of them are very nice. Some of these are just absolutely patently broken that I think should really be looked at and checked out if they should be put in and added into the game, especially the way they're made now, like the Bloodstones. Maybe the Bloodstones should give like a 5 to 10% haste buff and a healing, right? Not 20%. I feel like 20% is just gonna shift the tides of battle very, very easily. Like 20% haste is huge, man. It's huge. It's huge. It's PI. It's PI straight up, and you know, yeah, there's no way that it's not huge. But generally, these are just, a lot of these are amazing. I feel like some things should be looked at if they really deserve such big nerfs, like specifically Illidan's Grasp. Maybe Illidan's Grasp should be still as strong as it is right now for Vengeance. I don't know why Vengeance is specifically being targeted. Like, it's like the only thing that makes Vengeance remotely, I feel like, good, really, in PvP or like arenas, right, specifically. Or even in BGs, like throwing somebody just 40 yards away is very, very nice. And the big but really here is the fact that I feel like there should be more overall PvP changes, and I feel like just more general PvP changes to the game that I just don't see here. And in a sense, this is kind of data mined or whatever, right? This is like, I don't think we gotten the full scope of 11.1, so I'm not gonna judge it too harshly. What we have here right now is very good, and I like it. And I like it. Some things, sure, War Banner being removed, I don't like it. Barbarian being removed, I don't like it, right? But sure, I feel like overall this is some very good stuff for PvP. We deserve more. We deserve still more. Well, peeps, here's Mika from another day, and I decided to separate this into 2 videos, ultimately just because it was going to be way, way too long. We have 35 minutes of me just reacting to the PvP section, so the Demon Hunter, Enhance, Warrior, and Retribution changes, the full changes I'm going to talk about in a separate video. As always, peeps, I hope you've enjoyed this little video. Like, comment, subscribe, all those things YouTubers want you to do, and have a nice day.